I've been able to grow all three of my businesses through the power of networking. I'm also a trained marketer, and so what people don't realize is that networking and marketing really go hand in hand. And so we're going to talk about a lot of marketing principles today too. And so I've been able to grow all three of my businesses with very little actual ad spend or running of ads. We do run ads, but that is like not where the abundance of growth has come from my businesses. So we are going to, there we go. All right, so what we're going to cover today, do some introductions. I want to hear about the people that are here attending today, talking about a networking value ladder, possibilities through networking, defining your individual goals with networking, and then tons of strategies and examples of some people that are on this call, some people that you've seen in PCYP, some people in our community of what they're doing, and your own plan, what taking action looks like. And actually, we don't really have slides on evaluating your networking plan. Didn't get to that, but today for you to identify and recognize your value and feel empowered to bring multiple layers of value to your past, current, and potential networking contacts. And then obviously some immediate next steps grow. So in the chat, if you would, let's see, who here deals with customers and who here deals with clients? If you'll just type in the chat. Customers, I think of more of product-based, clients more on the service-based side of things. I'm just going over here and look at your responses. Sure, actually clients. Okay, and let's see, we've got somebody in physical therapy, somebody in publishing, Embassy Suites, nonprofit, public relations, great, realtor. Okay, so we can be able to use some of these as examples. Okay, perfect. And give me a 1 in the chat if you have ever successfully generated customers or contacts for your business through networking. It was a referral, it was somebody you met through networking. A 1 is a yes. 2 is a no. 2 is a no. Okay, awesome. So at least over half of us have had some success in this. So hopefully by the end, we'll have a bit more. Alrighty. So I think everyone here is proficient in Zoom. So for those who don't know me, I'm founder and president of Ports Young Professionals. That's probably how most of you ended up on this call, is through Ports Young Professionals. This is my boyfriend, Stan. These are his 2 kids. I've been splitting my time between here in Alabama. I have a digital marketing agency called Remedy Digital. I am a co-owner of the Wilmington Today Visitor and Relocation Guide. We're a print and digital publication. And then I've been running PCYP for 11 years, which is crazy. So that is one of the early days of PCYP, volunteering for the Bellamy Mansion. We were, let me get rid of this. All right, so some places you may have seen me, doing my own training events, being interviewed on podcasts, speaking at events, being interviewed for radio. This here in the middle is from presenting at the Wilmington Business Journal. So you will have seen me, leveraging my expertise to get in front of audiences in various capacities. Am I going to tell you that's what you need to do today? No, I'm not telling you to be me. I'm telling you this is an approach that I have taken. So I don't do it because I like seeing my face on billboards. I do it because I want to meet all the people that are at these events, not just the people attending, but the people that I'm presenting along with. So being, recognized for an award is awesome, but what you want to do is not just say like, okay, great, I got an award. You want to see who I'm in this group with, who can I network with, who now we have something in common, we have some alignment. With when I'm speaking on boards and panels with other people or at conferences with other people, I make sure to reach out before the event, connect during the event, follow up after the event. I have gotten so many customers and clients just from being being super present during these types of interactions and not just saying, okay, that's done, on to the next thing, but like maximizing every contact from those interactions. So for those of you who watch Hamilton, you know, Aaron Burr, he got left out when big things were being planned for the future of the United States. And so that's me. And if you want to maximize networking connections, you want to be in the room where it happens. And there's lots of different ways to be there. And these days, you also might want to be in the Zoom where it happens. So finding other virtual and in-person or virtual opportunities as well. A lot of what we're going to talk about today, it really doesn't matter if it's in person or virtually. You can take advantage of these things either way. All right. So the part of why networking works and part of why what we promote in Ports Young Professionals works is because of the reciprocity principle. What is that? This is when someone does something nice for you and you feel a deep-rooted physiological urge to do something nice in return. So think about how that may have happened. You're at the mall and someone gives you a sample. You immediately feel more compelled to buy that product or go to that venue. If somebody does a favor for you and then they ask the next day a favor back, you feel more compelled just psychologically. So there's like a wide range of ways that this can be applied, but that is essentially how it works. And so there are ways to manipulate this, and that's not what I'm wanting to teach today, because you actually do have to be genuine and care, but that is just how all this ties in and why networking works and why it's powerful and how you can use it to your advantage. So a shortcut to get people to like you, and this is kind of opposite of the reciprocity, is to get someone to do you a favor and then thank them profusely. So you have to find something that you need from them and convince them to do it for you. But when they do it, you go absolutely overboard in thanking them. You can thank them publicly, you can thank them privately, you can send them a gift, you can tell other people what a great thing that they did for you. And that is a great way to build a friendship. So somebody who has been doing me a huge solid during quarantine is Brad Caldwell. He has been hosting a event for me every week. It's volunteer, does it of the goodness of his heart, and because he enjoys it, and also because he's able to get clients through what he's doing through Ports Young Professionals also. But I thank him and praise him every chance I get. And kind of through this, we were good friends before, but we have become even better friends because there's just this mutual care and respect and understanding. So I'm not going to go super into this, but this was one of the last slides I added, but it's something that's really, really powerful in how you thank people. All right. So people do business with people they like, know, and trust. So you guys have all heard this before, but I just want to preface all the training that we're about to go into that being likable, being known, and being trustworthy are going to amplify all these efforts that you're making. And also the same way. So if they're referred to you, or sorry, if you also refer people to people you like, know, and trust. So I'll go and work with a vendor that I might not like, know, and trust, but my best friend or someone I know or someone I respect refers, and that's how that works. So Ports Young Professionals. So for those of you who've been a part of our community, this is a great place to come and flex and grow your practice some of the things that we'll learn today. So using the app to find people in your space to reach out to, engaging in our Facebook group community, participating in events just like this. So PCYP is not the end all be all of your networking. It is a launching pad to get things started. Some people come to PCYP for a couple years and then they're off doing their own thing. Some people are a part of it for years and years. Then there's me. 11 years later, I'm still finding value out of what this group is. And so just remember that PCYP is a launching pad for you, but it may not be the end all be all for all the networking that is going to be valuable to you. So for those who don't know, we're an online in-person community fun, vibrant professionals of all ages who aspire to network with like-minded people in a casual atmosphere that promotes the building of lasting relationships through a give. And so the give first is kind of around reciprocity, what we talked about, and it's also around just how to network effectively, get people to like, know, and trust you. And so the reason that we talk about that all the time isn't because I'm like, you know, give to me before I give to you, and I want that from everyone. It's because it works. It works. All right. So for me, I graduated college in 2008. It was kind of a tough time in the job market. I didn't know a lot of professionals in the area. A lot of my friends were still in college or in service-based businesses, and I was trying to in PR. I wanted to meet more people, so I joined some nonprofit volunteer boards. I didn't have very much money, but I had time. And then I found out on all these volunteer nonprofit boards, I was the youngest person by far. And so I was like, there's no young professional group that exists. So I'm going to start this small entity of people and try to grow it. My goal was never to be what it is today. It was really just like, I want to meet other young people who are trying to grow professionally and be leaders, you know, in their profession or in their community. And I didn't know anyone, so I got someone to do me a favor. My friend Sasha had a lot more friends than me, and she bought into this goal that I had. And so I said, can we use your list and invite a bunch of people? I'll get the venue, I'll get food donated, and you just help me get people there. So that was kind of the beginning of PCYP in 2009. And so then I kind of leveraged it mostly for friendships and relationships. And then in 2012, I went on my own in business and then became a contributor to a better user experience and podcast. So I was podcasting in 2012, like long before it was really cool. And that experience alone helped me launch my first business and my partnership with the agency called Little Wing Marketing. I use the blog to self-educate myself, but also for access to other people. I would say, hey, can I interview you for this blog? Can I interview you for this podcast? And that was my way to get people to talk to me because they knew it was going to be published. There was going to be an article about it. They would be able to use it as leverage for their own marketing. Another huge step for me in networking and was joining a business book club with Stephanie Lanier in 2012. So this is pre-Inspiration Lab. This is, you know, Stephanie in the early years of owning her real estate brokerage, and step for me because I was with all these other business owners and business leaders, and we were having these conversations where I, for the first time, didn't feel like I was alone. And a lot of the thoughts I was having about being, you know, a young business owner. And I have gotten multiple clients from that business book club, multiple long-term relationships that I still have today from that business book club. So with Little Wing, one of my jobs when we started was to bring in new clients. And I was, you know, still pretty new to digital marketing, new to being like in that role. I was in much more of a support role in my former agency. And so what we did to get our first round of clients was we went through, it was probably the Business Journal book of list or, you know, doing some Google searches and picked clients that we wanted to work with. And we sent them a survey. And it was a survey, like maybe 10 questions. And it was like a digital marketing survey. And we told all of them, hey, we are writing an article for our blog that will be shared with our community. And we want to, we're trying to get an idea of the digital marketing local businesses are doing. And so of 100 that we sent them to, about 15 responded, and one of them turned into a client, which we were stoked because we were like, okay, cool, this worked. And that client referred us. So it ended up being a really powerful exercise and really taught me about creating win-win opportunities, because if you just call a business and you're like, hey, tell me what you're doing with your marketing, they're going to be like, this is a sales call, bye. But if you're like, hey, we're doing some research, we're writing about it, we want to include you, and then can you, give us some response? And the last question on the survey was, do you want help with any of these things, that you were not doing? So that was kind of the early on kind of getting it all figured that. And what I don't want you guys to have to do is everything I had to do. I'm trying to save you a lot of time. But then became much more intentional networking, more speaking opportunities, attraction marketing, where people were finding me, where I was the magnet that people were going to. I wasn't having to go to them. Intentional networking twice, and then, you know, scaling 3 businesses, and then joining a coaching community, which has been super valuable. All right, so I don't know if this slide is actually in the right order, but I'm not saying you guys all need to create your own portfolio professionals, because while I have gotten clients from my digital marketing agency in Wilmington today from my contacts in Portfolio Professionals, Portfolio Professionals hasn't been my primary source for getting my own leads and clients. So you do not have to create your own PCYP. That's not what I'm teaching you today. I'm teaching you to create the things that make sense for you to get in front of your ideal clients. Because what you're going to do for you and for your potential clients and connections is going to be way better, because it's unique to what you need and want. So what is the secret to growing your business through networking? The secret is energy. Energy. That's all it is. Networking is an exchange of energy. So energy can be interpreted a lot of different ways, but that's all it is. And so when you think about it like that, it gets really simple. And energy is also value, that give first mentality that we're talking about. So I'll use energy and value kind of interchangeably through this presentation, but I'm hoping that by the end of it, you realize that you guys have to be successful in networking, because you can all create energy and you can all create value. So different types of value you can bring. So you don't have time, you don't have money, you don't have tons of contacts, you don't have tons of resources. Oh, it's telling me my internet connection is unstable. That's great. Okay. Hopefully we're good. Just a kind, encouraging word, acknowledging somebody's success, encouraging somebody who's about to embark on something. There is the Women to Watch Awards were just announced. So you can reach out to each one of those people individually and encourage them, congratulate them. You can acknowledge something somebody has already done. You can just bring joy and delight to that you meet in person or on a virtual call. So bringing your personal energy is that. So if you have nothing else, or at least you feel like you have nothing else, you absolutely have the ability to do this in networking. And this alone can bring you tons of friendships and connections, because people are going to realize that being around you is beneficial to them. You are giving first by giving of your energy, your delight and emotions to other people. So the other way to give value is like your time and presence. So you might not have much money, just like I didn't when I was starting out in networking, but I had time. And so I would show up. I would show up for events. I would show up for volunteer. I would show up and I would volunteer for nonprofits. I would volunteer for other people's events who I wanted to get to know. So even when I was in college, I would volunteer for nonprofit events because I thought I wanted to be an event planner. And so I would just reach out and say like, hey, do you need any volunteers for this event? I would like greet people at the door and sometimes clean up. But if you have time to give, and of your physical and emotional presence is highly, highly valuable. So you can also gifts, offers, or exchanges. People will find valuable in networking and business interactions. So one thing that I love to do is find something I know somebody will love and they have no idea it's coming, and mail it to them, like sending a physical, tangible gift in the mail. Same with an offer. So a discount, like an irresistible offer that you know your potential client or your potential connection like would just like really love to have, and it might cost money or it might cost resources, but that is certainly a way to provide value. So one is like, you know, offering referrals, a referral feedback, or referral kickback to somebody who sends you business. Others is just like making a donation. So like depending on what level of networking that you're at and you're trying to get in front of like some big heavy hitters, they might be a part of a nonprofit that you're passionate about. And so you say, you reach out to them and let them know that you want to make a donation and kind of what are the best ways to go about that. So you can make a donation as a way to connect with somebody else. We'll go through some more ideas later, but I'm just kind of rattling some off right now. So value can be your knowledge, information, expertise, and that can be packaged a lot of different ways. It can be packaged in a video. It can be packaged in a checklist, a how-to, a video interview, a podcast interview, a blog write-up. It could be information that you know that they need directly or their client's client or their customer's customer. What they would need. And so when you're networking or reaching out, if you know that you have information that they would find valuable, that is super valuable, as you can see. And the thing is, like, you guys all know things that other people don't. So my first language is like in marketing, and specifically digital marketing. But, if I was going to talk to, let's see, Tim Howard about real estate's like my third language, because like I know a little bit about it, but things that he might take for granted that I don't. So that is a way. So don't undervalue the information and knowledge that you have about your expertise. And the last and most important, in my opinion, is access. So you all have access to your own sphere of influence, your own connections, your own or employers, or the networking communities that you're a part of. Those of you that are in BNI, you guys are really great at referring people in there. So and then it might be access to give business to somebody. So, and that means like you giving your business to somebody else. So that's all part of access. So when you think about it, you guys are walking around with tons and tons of value, tons and tons of energy, and you guys get to choose who gets that. Like that's just real. I'm hoping that's really empowering for all of you who network. So this is kind of my own value ladder of kind of how I perceive like networking interactions. So, you can start with emotions, and you guys should all be doing that anyway. And then the next step, it's like, okay, now I'm going to be able to give some time. Now I'm going to give like a gift or an offer or a discount or incentive. Next is, information, knowledge, and then access. And so the more you're doing of all of these, the more you're making yourself a magnet to attract more of the things that you want. Because as soon, networking is like putting money in the bank, like compounding interest. So you put some in, and then the more you put in, the more interest that you get, and it grows. It's just a compounding effect over time. So when you're networking, you want to think about, you are walking around, for example, $100 bill, and everyone else has $20. So if you're walking around with $100 and you're trying to exchange value with someone with 20, you're going to get yeses everywhere you go, right? Like everywhere you go, because everyone who has 20 is going to want to exchange $100 with you. Now, we're not talking about necessarily money, but we're talking about all those other forms of energy that you have to exchange. And so as long as you aren't walking around with $20 asking for $100 from everyone, then you're going to have success in networking. So even if like you don't walk away with anything from this presentation other than this one slide, then you're in good shape. So for it to work, you have to have a give first mindset, as we talked about. Know your value and determine what value you bring to every situation. Know the problem your business solves for your customer and your customer's customer. So for example, I had somebody reach out recently who said, hey, do you know anyone you can refer to my business? We do, I don't want to say the business, we do cybersecurity. And I was like, hey, so can you give me some examples? I wrote back, I was like, I can't really refer you until I understand the problem that you solve for businesses and the types of businesses that you're trying to get in front of. And so the better you can articulate it for yourself, the easier it's going to be to articulate it to your future referrals and customers. Number 4, got to give a damn about people you network with. So when we talk about that compounding energy, or that compounding effect of networking, if you don't care about people, if you don't do right by people, if those interactions on the way up the ladder aren't positive, and people just see you walking around with $20 asking for 100 over and over, and then like not even thanking them and not even appreciating what you say, then it's not going to work. So you have to genuinely care, or none of this works. And then you have to do it. So you actually have to do it. And then just remembering that it's a process. So the way networking works, it's not sales. It's different. I mean, they work together, but it's not sales. It is just trying to move them to the next step in the relationship, in the process. And the sale will happen when it makes sense. Alrighty. All right, so this was kind of talk today, how to network without taking all your time or posting all day on social media. All right, so the shortest way I can describe that is creating win-wins. So whenever you have an idea about what to propose to somebody that you want to reach out with, is it a win-win-win? Sometimes there are so many wins, it's just so obvious for everyone to participate. Okay. Okay, I'm reading some of the notes now. Okay. Sorry, because it said my internet was unstable. Just y'all message in the chat if you're having trouble, and I'll jump on my phone. All right, so I'm just going to give a lot of examples. I'm going to give some of my personal examples and some from other people that you guys already know that are kind of crushing it, and it's working for them. So this video, or this screenshot here, is part of a women's coffee group that just started this year, that several girlfriends that I might know, they hand selected the people that they wanted to be a part of this community, and they have, and we were meeting in person for an hour once a month. And then now we're doing it virtually, and then they're inviting people in to come in and train and speak in that group. And so there's like 34 people. It's a Facebook group. So a lot of you guys probably know Andrew Pierce. Andrew Pierce started Elite Rockstar Networking here. He does tons of videos. He does tons of video interviews. So he reached out to me, month 2 during COVID, and was like, hey, let's jump on a call. I think both of our audiences would really appreciate like us talking about what we're doing, to pivot during this time, and just some ideas for people. And so for me, like, that was just me giving up my time. But I knew he was going to publish it. I knew I would be able to publish it. It would be something that I could email to my list. It would be something I could share on social media, and it would be something that he would share with his audience as well. So that's win. So for me, it was an hour of my time, but it ended up, I saw the future possibilities with it. So now we have like 3 examples of publishers. Okay, so this is getting to where I'm headed next with all this, is these entities. So the chamber, 40 Under 40, the chamber has an interest in being with coming of Wilmington. And so what they could do is, send emails to everyone and say, we want you to join the chamber. Or they could create a whole event around voting and nominating and promoting these people. So now anyone that is on that 40 Under 40 that wasn't already super connected to the chamber has a link in. Same with Wilma. So we have somebody here, we have Vicky from Wilma in the Business Journal. So these award recognitions have multiple ways of leveraging connections. So there's so many wins that like you kind of run out, because like you know, Wilma doesn't get paid by the nominees, but they get paid by the sponsors that want to be listed with these nominees, or the businesses that these nominees work for that will sponsor events, will pay for advertising. And now all these nominees have a connection with Wilma too, so that if somebody from Wilma reaches out to one of them who with their company and say, we want to sit down for a meeting, there's already that power of reciprocity. Wilma already recognized them in this capacity. They gave them this exposure. So now it's like, yes, I'm definitely going to take the meeting. And that's part of kind of how all this works, is like, you want people to say yes to taking a meeting with you. And the more energy you can bring, the more wins you can bring to that opportunity, the more likely you're going to get a yes. And so that's something that, I mean, it's taken me a long time to get there, but I feel like I can get just about anyone to take a meeting with me. Doesn't mean they're going to work with me. It doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to have this, you know, fruitful business relationship, but it means that they see enough of the value that I can bring, the energy that I can bring to a relationship, that they'll get on a 30-minute Zoom with me, that they'll go to lunch, especially if I offered a treat. And so that's what you'll find, win-win opportunities. And the more wins, the better, the more people will say yes to interactions with you. And these are big, this is more big thinking, especially with like the events and stuff. That was just something I was like, this is a great example where you see how all the wins come together. So Cassian Films, you guys might have, they are a videographer and photography couple. They kind of weren't really on the radar, and all of a sudden, like, they're everywhere. And an example of what they did with me is they were like, Jenna, we love what PCYP is great. We want to get in front of your audience also. Let us do a video for you. And I mean, getting a free video is like, I mean, that's tremendous value. That's like huge, crazy. And I was like, yes, of course. Well, that video turned into 6 more videos, and I have referred them countless business after that. And now they're working with one of my clients who literally this morning emailed me and said, we have a video like ready to go and put some ad budget behind. So that is an example of them offering an irresistible offer to someone like me, which has turned into a long-lasting relationship. They've sponsored our event in January for PCYP. Yeah, there's just so many things that has led to. So you guys know Chris Bremer. So Chris has been doing photos for PCYP. Like, I do pay him to take photos for PCYP, but it is nowhere near what his hourly rate is. But it works for him because he on every email. He has gotten tons and tons of business by building that connection, a relationship with me to grow his own business. He also does great work, so work with Chris. So everyone knows Alexandra probably. So Alexandra, she was somebody who I got in front of because we didn't know each other. I knew who she was, but she got on my radar because I was just so impressed with what she was doing. Now, she's not really running this website anymore, but she started a few years ago, and it's called My Sunshine Adventures. And she would create a networking calendar. She would spotlight other businesses. She would send a newsletter. She basically created her own like mini publishing site because she was an insurance agent who wanted to get in front of as many people as she could. And for her, everyone is a potential client. Everyone's sister, brother, friend, contact is a referral. So I was so impressed with what she did. I said, hi, can we please be friends? I talked about you on a presentation before, and we've never met. This was like years ago. And now she's one of my best friends. She's got all my insurance business, and I refer her tons of business all the time. And actually, she's a client of mine now. So that is just another story. Brooke and Devin Skipper are master networkers. They dig in to the community and get involved where they can, and they also refer other people business like crazy. Access, up there on the top of the chart, they give access. And they, if you are in any of like the community groups, like Wilmington community stuff, like Brooke is always in there referring and tagging other people. And I know they're part of a BNI group. And I know that's a lot of the people she refer are in that group too, but just she is someone who I see everywhere. No one has anything bad to say about Brooke, and she has really conquered this networking game. Riley Stevenson. So over the years, I've had multiple nonprofits and other groups say, we want to start a young professional network. We want to do this thing. And most of them fail. It's hard because those people aren't creating enough win-win opportunities, because they just say, okay, we want to bring in young people to come and do all this work. It's like, no, you have to create opportunities for those young people to thrive so that there's something in it for them too, win-win. And so Riley's one of the few people I've seen. He created a nonprofit board with Step Up Wilmington and did tons of events. They did their own like board events, fundraising events, and it's just like been so awesome to see it grow and thrive. And now he's got it to where he was able to actually roll off that board, which is like the biggest success of all, is that you create something and then you leave it sustainable. So, Riley could have and so Riley got to handpick a lot of those first people that he worked with. And he also started a golf group too. So Riley's a financial advisor. So for him, anyone that he brought into that Step Up board member is going to think about him and know what he does for, I don't know how many leads he's gotten from it or business he's gotten from it, but I do know that he's definitely elevated his status among all these people. They all trust him because they've seen what he's done. And then with the golf group, so financial advisors, a lot of people they probably want to talk to probably play golf. So I think there's like 40 people on his email list, and we're not doing it this summer, but the last 2 or 3 summers, every week he would organize golf at Muni and coordinate it all. So he's making himself a magnet, putting himself in the center of potential contacts for him. Alicia Brown. So Alicia worked for me for the last year. She is also a boudoir photographer. She has the most engaging, fun, cool Facebook group ever. She's posting in there all the time. It's even if you never work with her as a boudoir photographer, you will love her when you hang out in her Facebook group. So in her Facebook group, she gives so much energy in that group, and then everyone reciprocates. And so she is booked, I think, through like September and October this year. And last year, this time, she was not full-time in her boudoir business. So I am really proud of her. And just to show, and she also, is an ambassador, a lead ambassador for PCYP, and does tons of stuff with us. And I know that's helped her business as well. Seth Connor with ICAG, I Know a Guy, Girl. So he and I have talked a lot, and he was trying to do something similar with ICAG as me with PCYP, where it's like, I just want to bring people that I know that I want to work with and be around together and make that the center. And so they do weekly networking. They have a virtual community as well. And I've just been really impressed with everything that Seth is doing. He left his 9-to-5 and, has been doing marketing for others for the last few years. And so has been great as well. So make sure to follow Seth and ICAG also. She helped found a group called Cape Fear Women in Tech. And Cape Fear Women in Tech was a nonprofit that brought together women in technology. Now, Audrey wasn't doing it because she needed clients in technology, but she knew she had a space and knew that it was going to be valuable to network and work with those people. They also brought in other experts to serve on their board that she was able to network with, other speakers that she brought in that she was able to network with. And now Audrey has I don't want to say better, but like an amazing job. And I know part of it is a result of networking through this group that she helped start. Catherine Benko, fitness instructor. She has her own app. She has her own Facebook community. She has her own podcast. So I reached out to Catherine. I know her husband from working at Tech Mountain. And I was like, and her and I had met briefly, but I didn't know her that well, but I wanted to interview her. Actually, all of these that have these backgrounds or people that I interviewed, and all these interviews are on the Ports Young Professionals blog. And so I interviewed them to talk about what they were doing to build these communities to leverage networking. So you guys can access all of these interviews, any that have this blue background, and then maybe one more. But it's just like, I reached out, it's just like, I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. Can we talk about what you're doing? I'll publish it on our website, our blog, I'll record it. And so I wanted an hour of her time, but that I wanted to take it and then leverage it to my audience as well. Alrighty, and then Stephanie Lanier, I've already talked about her, but to see Stephanie, a lot of the things that she's doing in the Inspiration Lab kind of started as her passion project with our book club. And now that's grown to this like international membership of women and doing just incredible things. So, and Stephanie has, I've been able to do some work for the Inspiration Lab over the years, and also she's just been a long-term friend and referral. So that, being in her book club in 2012 turned into multiple opportunities down the road. So you can watch that interview also. All right, so this was like an example I sent to Catherine, or the email of anyone that I wanted to get on one of these video interviews. I complimented and acknowledged them. I gave them information about me. I told them that I would also be like brainstorming and giving information with them, and then I knew that they would find value in what I had to suggest to them as far as what they were already doing, that I was going to give them access to my network by sharing this content with them, and then gave them like clear instructions of next steps. So you're not necessarily supposed to read this. I was just like, hey, I'll just show an example here. So I know we're at 12:45, so I'm going to go kind of fast. So so for you, what is your game plan? You're like, okay, I see what all these people did. What can I do? So what problem does your business solve for its customers? Think about that. If you are selling real estate, you help navigate them through the process. You know all the things about real estate that they don't know. You provide guidance and comfort. You can help them negotiate. You just make the process easy for home buying. And there's probably lots of other ones. I'm seeing who else we have. So, and then the next part is, what problem does your business solve for your customers? So an example is, so Alexandra sells insurance, and a lot of her best referral partners are real estate brokerages. And so she doesn't necessarily need to go and teach real estate brokerages about insurance, but she knows what the homeowners want to know about insurance. So she can teach the real estate brokers how to teach the homeowners. So she goes around and does training on that. She could also create a PDF or create a virtual course, or create a checklist. Like, there's so many things that you can create that help solve your audience's problem, or your audience's. So for me with Cassian Films, he was like, we want to do a vision video. And I'm like, okay, well, that's like about me, where I'm like, this is what I see, and this is what I want, and this is what's happened. But what we ended up turning it into is like all this content to give to, what we wanted to do was, so things that could be training for other people. So, so now when people come in, they have questions, they can refer to those videos. So he was solving a problem for my customer's customer. So this is where you don't have to spend all your time on social media and spend all your time networking. Figure out who your next dream 100 clients, customers are. So just like I made that list with, back in 2012 with my first digital marketing company, we picked 100 people that we wanted to work with. And then we thought, how do we get in front of them? What messages are they going to care about? What value can we bring to them that would make them take a meeting with us, that would make them want to refer us, that would allow me the opportunity to communicate with them? And then where are they? Are they on the golf course? Are they in BNI? Are they on different nonprofit boards? Do they hang out at the same country club? Do they, where are the people that you want to get in front of? And then work backward of how you get there. So you might not be able to go directly to that person, but you can start, with seeing who they're connected to on LinkedIn. You can see who your personal network is. You can start telling people, hey, that you meet, that you already have a rapport with, hey, I'm trying to get in front of like these types of people or this specific person. Do you know anyone that, might know the best way to do that? Yeah, and again, what time, knowledge, gift, access can you provide your Dream 100? Or to the people 3 steps in front of getting you. So yeah, when you talk about your customers, so training or guide that serves their customers, access that helps them reach their customer, a resource their customer would want. It can be scripts, templates, contracts, an area, like for real estate, again, like an area guide, tips for hiring a moving company. Like there's so many things, if you think outside the box, that somebody's gonna be like, oh, this is really useful, and then you've given them something, and then that's where the power of reciprocity can come into play. And then what are your unique gifts? Are you great on video? Are you a great writer? Are you great at just bringing people together, hosting events? Are you great at doing research, or interviewing people, or finding the perfect gift for people? So when you figure out like what you're really great at and what you enjoy doing, then try to pair that with what you want to do for the people you're trying to network with, because then it's just going to, elevate what you're already doing. So yeah, other ways of leveraging your energy. So emotion, just kind of a recap. Send encouraging messages, pay attention, be present, give feedback, and acknowledge things that they've already done also. So time, volunteer, show up in person. If you're attending a networking event, be the first one there, be the last one to leave. Reach out to them before you even go. Hi, I'm planning to attend your event next week. I haven't been before. This is what I do. Do you have any recommendations? Just even that, or can I look for you at the event? If somebody's hosting the event and somebody says, can I look for you at the event? You're going to be like, yes. That's the whole point. The knowledge, we just talked a bunch about that. Monetary, a gift or offer, and it might not even cost you anything, but it's something of value. And yeah, access, kind of at the top tier. Access to your connection. You might say like, I have event space that you could use. I have a vehicle you can use, things like that. And even just like providing a review for somebody is giving them access to your following. It's like, hey, I had a great experience there. I'm going to write a review. Make sure you tell them afterward that you wrote a review. Don't just write a review. And hopefully if somebody ever leaves you a review, you go out of your way to thank them for it. All right, so here's just like some other ideas for you of things that I've done. So I started my own networking group for young professionals. You could make one that's even more niche down or more specific. I share the wins for myself and others on social media. So when I have a big win for myself, I share it with my audience. I had a friend do a remodel of a home for someone, and I shared some photos, and she ended up getting some work out of that because somebody saw the work that she did. I host ladies' nights. I host trainings on social media. I join my business book club. I take a lot of people out to play golf because I love golf, and it's a great place to network and just really get to know people. You can write an article just promoting someone's business. So if you have a business as a lot of referral partners, just offer to, hey, can I write an article about you and what you do for our website or for our blog or for a social media page? Write a review for someone. So this is a big secret of mine, but I'll share it here for those of you that showed up. A greetable is a really cool handmade gift, not handmade, unique personalized gift. It comes with a custom box with a custom message and a little gift inside, and people lose their mind when you send them a greetable. I send them to my clients too, and they love them. You can actually add gift certificates inside them too. Sending a very a thoughtful gift that they have 3 people reach out to someone before I do. What is that? Oh yeah. So if there's somebody that I'm really, really trying to get to know, like I will be really, really strategic and talk to people that I know that they know well and kind of drip things out to them. Hey, please tell so and so that I am dying to get to know them. I'm dying to take them to lunch. That um, I am just so impressed with them, or you know, something like that. And so by the time that they meet them, they're already kind of in anticipation of meeting me. Video, blog, podcast interviews, the surveys I talked about. Whenever I went to a conference and there were all these amazing speakers that I got to really know, and they're all really successful, and I knew that I was going to need things from them over time. So I turned all of them into custom cartoons. So I paid somebody on Fiverr to create these amazing cartoons, and I'm telling you, none of them will ever forget me after getting one of these gifts from me. I invited someone to a Zoom to have lunch with me yesterday. I had their lunch delivered because I wanted to make sure that they showed up for our Zoom calls. So I was like, tell me what you want, I'll have it delivered, I'll have a Zoom lunch. Referring business to people, that is a surefire way to make people like, know, and trust you and want to do it back. Send them other people business. I have spent 5 figures on coaching and courses, and the coaching communities I've been a part of and other professionals that I've made have led to much, much more in other business. So investing in yourself and other communities that allow you to access people that can help you grow your network, it's sometimes is worth it to pay to play. Yeah, gone to, I don't even know how many conferences to learn and network. So just make sure whatever you're doing that you can find as many wins as possible. And that's what I mean, like make it win-win. So if you're doing a video interview or you're live at somebody's office and you want to do a video, like record it, turn a video into a blog that you then share on your social media and newsletter, or you can record your own video training that you then maximize to all that. Like I'm recording this today, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but this might end up on our YouTube channel. This might end up you know, getting sent to everyone or part of another course that I create. Create a lead magnet that you might go and give to your Dream 100 and say like, hey, I created this for you because I think you can use this to get to your clients. But then you can also use that as a cold outreach campaign, like through with paid ads, or add it to your email or add it to your website. Take every opportunity to meet someone that they leave knowing you and being better for it. So trying to make an impact on the people that you meet. And then anytime anyone does anything for you, thank them, thank them, thank them. Like you can't thank them enough. Like literally I had shared something on Vicky Janowski, Wilma reached out. Thank you so much for recognizing the Women to Watch winners on your page. Like it was in an email. I was like, oh, that's so nice to be thanked for that. But that makes me want to do more for them. All right, we've got 4 minutes. Anyone else? Okay. And then always ask, who do you know that needs what I have? Basically. So that's another huge takeaway is using your current clients, your current sphere, your current referrals, or your current network, and finding who they know, but making it not just like, hey, I'm just gonna ask everyone like, hey, who can send me a lead, but just being really intentional about it, especially right after somebody has a great experience with you, asking them right after that, do you know anyone else who needs this? Alrighty, so here's some things not to do. Don't walk around with $20 asking for 100. Think you don't have value to bring. All of you have value to bring. If you don't think so, just reiterate some of the things you learned on today's call and you will bring value to people, because a lot of people don't think about things like this. They don't have they haven't learned some of these things. So don't treat people, someone referred you, with kindness and respect. So you might get referred somebody that's not a great lead. That's not great. I get referred a lot of people, and what I always try to do is like, hey, if we're not a good fit, I'm going to try to find somebody who is. And I will tell you, my last 3 clients came to me thinking that they weren't going to work with me, thinking that they were coming to me for a referral. So you always don't want to close that door for being able to help refer somebody to the next person. Don't just ask to meet with someone and pick their brain. That is coming with $20 asking for 100. Don't just say like, I know you could help me, unless you think you actually want to work with them. Don't assume anyone owes you anything. Don't blast everyone with impersonal messages. That's what I'm talking about, like being intentional with your networking. You don't have to, reach all 250,000 people in New Hanover County. Like, who are the next 100 people you want to get in front of? Like, how are you gonna, drip out content and relationship and value to them? And don't take it personally if someone doesn't respond. We're all busy. On to the next person, or find another angle. And then, yeah, don't ever forget to thank someone that provides value to you. Like, thanking people is good for you. It's good for them. It's good for the whole cyclical process. So these steps will help you become a magnet dream customers. So dream customers, magnet to you. And let's see what else okay, so now I was just going to go into kind of how PCYP is a I'm reading some of your comments now of all the opportunities that you have in PCYP. So these are people that are literally set up for nothing, like for mostly just to help you get in front of the people that you want to get in front of. So feel free to reach out to them. All their contact information is on the website. These are the core four. These are their co-leaders. So each of them is, their desire is to help connect and refer you. Also leveraging the mobile app, you can search for people in there, people's contact information's in there, tell them you found them through, then bring $100 of value to them. Alrighty, and this is the PCYP free Facebook group community, so please join us in there and participate. There are tons of other virtual networking going on, lots of things you guys can participate in. ICAG, the CIE is doing stuff, the Chamber's doing stuff, the Inspiration Lab is doing a free virtual first impression workshop series starting this month. So that is free. I think, and you guys should all take advantage of that. I'm going to try to get on some of those as well. And yeah, PCYP. Oh, and also when you join as a member, you immediately get connected with an ambassador kind of off the bat. So we're trying to keep this going, even though, we're mostly virtual right now. There is still lots of networking and connections happening virtually. So if you guys want to stick around, I think I timed it right at an hour. I can answer some questions. So Cheryl Moody, do you have many seasoned professionals in PCYP? Yes, we have hundreds of seasoned professionals in PCYP. We have all ages professions. All right, Jennifer had to go. Tim, lead magnet. Yeah, Aaron and I worked together to create a really cool lead magnet for his business. So he's able to, have people either opt in through that for his website, or he can just email that to people and just say, hey, I thought this might be useful to you. And Vicky, didn't even know I was networking when I did. Yes, you guys do it so well, Vicky. So let's see, I will stop sharing. And if any of you want to unmute yourself and have any questions or feedback, I haven't even seen a lot of your faces because I've been in presentation mode, but yeah, we can take some questions if anyone has any.
Jenna, I just wanted to say thank you. It's Kara Keenan here. First of all, thank you for the content. I want to say that I think for myself and maybe for some others, that networking can kind of seem really intimidating. And after listening to you and all of your experiences and all of your fantastic advice, it feels like maybe I've already been doing some of it without even realizing. And that helps me to feel a little bit braver to continue working at it and doing it. So thanks for that.
Well, it was all worth it for that feedback right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it was worthwhile for you.
It really was.
Hey, Jenna, it's Vicky. I only joked early on with the shutdown about Zoom and, being burnt out on Zoom and all that stuff. So clearly this is like the new normal. But I mean, what have you guys found any tips, or how's engagement been when you guys have your networking over Zoom or get-togethers or social hour?
Yeah, we have had as few as like 8 and as many as 50 show up. And so that's why we're trying to do more often. And the ones that Brad's been doing are just more like casual, no real agenda. You just come and hang out, and sometimes things get weird, but it's fun. And mine, I typically keep right at an hour, and they're much more structured. But they're every single one, like for me, I'm an extrovert anyway, like I'm on a super high like afterward, because people are like connecting in the comments, and people are like exchanging information. And so it's been, I think, more than, I mean, when we had like 50, we didn't give a lot of people a lot of chance to talk, just because, you know, that was more of like a presentation and we heard from a few people. But like less than 20, there's been some really great networking going on. The last 2 calls I did, we even did like, we masterminded some people's businesses. We were like, hey, where are some places you're having trouble? And we all gave ideas about, you know, what they could do for networking, what they could do for marketing, what they could do, you know, internally. And so that's been working for us. We did breakout rooms once for speed networking, but I feel like I didn't prepare the people that I had in the breakout rooms well enough to maybe lead some of those, but it still worked, and I would do it again. So for smaller groups, like the breakout rooms work really well. And I know Stephanie and the Inspiration Lab, they've done a lot with breakout rooms. And so for smaller groups, it's really great.
Okay, and you did such a good job on this presentation. I wish we could do this as well on Zoom too, but you always do so good when you give your talks. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you. Thanks, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, Jenna, I feel like a lot of the stuff that you talked about, I'm already doing, but I'm doing a Zoom presentation for Cape for Crew, and I had never even crossed my mind to record it. So and then, you know, repost it in other places. So that was a great tip.
Yeah, just maximize it. You don't have to do a presentation every month, every day. Like do one and then just like promote the shit out of it.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and recently we got with the Public Relations Society of America, and we put together a media panel with local news outlets and invited other communicators to it. I don't know, were you a part of that, Jenna?
No, but that's a brilliant strategy.
And it's just stuff like that, like linking up with larger organizations. They're always willing to let other people do the legwork for them.
They're like, well, yeah, we'll show up if you do all the work, which is
Absolutely.
a big part of
everything.
So you provided time, you provided access, and knowledge. So you found a lot of wins.
Yeah, and it was I wasn't able to attend it myself because I had stuff going on that day, but from what I heard, it was really good, and I watched through it, and it was good too. Just a tidbit.
Yeah, no, that's great.
But, great presentation. Thank you. I'm going to sign off.
All right, thanks for being here, Zach.
Hey, Jenna, when you started talking about the reciprocity, I was thinking about the book, The Go-Giver, which I've shared with some of your friends, and they've passed on to others. But I love what you're doing here. And, you know, I've only been a part of PCYP last year or so, but I love your intentionality about how you do things and how you go out of your way to connect people. And yeah, there's networking going on right now here today in the chat box. So with people I've met before at PCYP. But I'm trying to get my YouTube channel going again. But and also thinking about another project that I'm working on that's unrelated to real estate and how these principles would apply to that effort too. But you're my networking hero. So it's like I aspire to be more like Jenna. And you do just such a fabulous job, and you're always giving to the community and helping other people understand how to improve their businesses. So you are a go-giver, and appreciate your presentation today and everything you've shared with us.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for being here. I love what you're doing too. It's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or feedback?
Jenna, just want to apologize for my tardiness. I apologize for that. I got sidetracked with some other stuff. So forgive me. Just want to say great presentation. Appreciate everything that you do, continue to do. And looking forward to being on earlier. And, you know, I'm always last to leave to everything anyway.
Yeah, he knows. You come early, stay late. That's when a lot of the good networking happens. At least the fun, anyway. It looks like some people are signing off. All right. Well, I'll probably trying to think of what to do with this recording. I wanted to make it special just for the people who showed up, but there was like over 50 people who registered, and I think that they should probably enjoy it. So this will probably be shared. So hopefully those of you who gave feedback are fine with that being shared. So thank you guys so much. I had a ton of fun. And if you have any follow-up for me, any questions for me, shoot me an email, jenna@portsioungprofessionals.com, and keep hanging out. Keep showing up for virtual events. All right. Bye, everyone.